Hello everyone, and welcome to Capsule Cast. This is the first week of the 2024 season. I am your host, xmat, and I'm joined once again, well, for the first time as co-host at the very least, Fathappy, coach of Royals.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Now the co-host of the Capsule Cast. It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's great, isn't it? It's you've been on loads of times before, but now obviously you're a co-host, so
See, now I get to have all the power.
all of the power, exactly.
I've evolved to a higher form.
Yes, exactly. Just don't abuse that power. And as a last-minute addition, also host Destiny, coach of Sim.
Hello.
And how's everyone doing? Everyone good?
Doing alright. Just melting in the summer heat.
Doing good.
What heat is that? Oh, Tosh! Tosh
Hey,
is here. I didn't think
at
Tosh.
least say something a little bit.
Well, staff and coach of Regrets Tosh is here. And just,
We're being invaded by the Europeans. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. it brought great profit before.
Listen, they're multiplying now, okay?
Hey.
Wait.
Me and xmat are in control of the situation.
It's fine.
You know what I just realized though?
Yeah. What?
When Turles is in the middle to signify I'm recording and hosting and whatnot. That's the Americans. Zarbon's in the middle. That's the Europeans.
Zarbon's European, okay?
I suppose so.
He's part of the old world. Funny.
But I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Was not planning to be here, but saw that I was awake. Showed up. Saw that you guys didn't have a guest, so I was like, you know what? I'll be a guest for once.
It's all good. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We do. Anyway, do we want to go on to match number 1? Tosh's favourite match ever?
Might be a good idea. Shall we?
Sure.
Very, very questionable.
Okay, match number 1. We have Derp versus Rugrats. I mean, I'm gonna let you take the floor with it, Tosh, in a minute. But Frost, anyone want to talk about Frost and how much of a demon he's been, and he continues to be.
All right, do you want to go first, Tosh? Since
No. I just.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Well, in that case, Frost, absolute demon. This match, he is outperforming everyone. I don't know what you guys expected out of Frost, but he is going way above my expectations when he was added as a character. A new addition to the league, after all.
Yeah.
If I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, xmat, I want to say he was geared more towards maybe 45k, maybe a little bit more, because he was meant to be a good contender. Yeah.
That was the expectation, but man, is he going above that at the moment? He has a bit of a ways to go. Oh god, yeah. I mean, he has a bit of a ways to go to prove that he's gonna stay in this echelon. He hasn't done a Margin Vegeta yet, where he's done the whole season at this sort of level. But I mean, we have to wait and see. But at the start to this season that he's had is kind of insane, really. Especially because he went against Rayleigh in this match as well.
Wait.
Yeah. He's had actually not even a bad preseason either. He got his technically first elite in the preseason, and for 112k. Talked about it with Anthony in the last cast, but rewatching the match and seeing how well he did versus Aurelia is definitely a shocker. But the way they built Frost is they have him on an attack build, right? But since he has his crazy finger shot barrage, which isn't even a bad barrage from the looks of it, because they curve, but it mostly is straight, and he has his Nova Strike B2 and a Death Ball ult basically, so if he wants to, he can still B2 his heart's content. But most of the time, he's going to be up in your face, ending a combo with a stun, and then probably jumping back to do a B2, and then redoing the same thing over again. At least from what it looked like from the match.
Yeah, he uses stuns really well, to be fair. Anyway, Tosh, I'm sure you're dying to talk about this, so...
Listen. And I just want to point out, yeah, Frost, in preseason, he had 39k, 77k, 112k, and then 82k. That was just preseason. And then I don't know if... I think he already did stats for week 1, but it's not inputted yet. But obviously, I think he did like probably another like 70 or 80k versus us in this match. First off, I want to say congratulations to the Derp. I'm actually not upset, with that. It was actually a really good match, and what is it? So, hold on, give me 1 second. Go ahead and keep talking real quick.
I will say that, as he said, like, I don't think you can be too mad at Derp for taking a W, because it's Derp.
They've had some
rough seasons. Yeah. The fact that they get a strong character similar to how Sentai got Jiren, I don't think it's a problem at all. And specifically Frost doesn't have much. He hasn't had many showings yet, so it could just be that he is getting, to some degree, newcomer's luck, shall we say?
Yeah, sorry about that. Had someone come in my room real quick to say hey. Yeah, no, I honestly just feel like overall, I want to say this. What is it? Frost is I don't know if he's overperforming. That's one thing I'm not sure about. But I'm glad to see that Derp is doing well. And then they still got 21 in the background, which, what is it? GT was going to go for her, and they had her looking well. And now Derp got her. Yeah, that's a scary combination, along with Salsa and everyone else.
Funny enough, second season in a row where both, where there's a team with a new modded character who picks up 21.
That's quite funny.
It is kind of funny.
But
oh yeah,
I'll at least say a little bit more of my thoughts on the match itself, because we did talk about Frost. Good. I'll say definitely good on Salsa and Yamcha, to be honest. But we'll say I think the very lackluster performance from Cell Jr. did kind of cost Rugrats the match. Yeah, Aurelie didn't do great as like a start, but even a bad start can be come back through the other characters performing well. But having the bad start from Aurelie plus Cell Jr. not really doing much kind of cemented it. But we'll say, Go Tanks, after the, what was it, like 35k from Goten, did really try to hold down the fort and try to get his team back in there.
It's just a shame because if Gotenks, like, obviously he had a lot of indignation stacks, and I think he hit 1v2 maybe.
Yeah, so he hit 1, but he threw out 4.
Yeah, because if he had like max attack, I don't know whether actually the actual match would have switched. If you know what I mean, if he was on like attack, what's the max attack stat, 4? If that would have switched the matchup, rather than having Super 4. I kind of want. It's interesting. Obviously, it's all theory craft, but it would have been interesting to see because most of Gotenks' melee was from most Gotenks' damage was from melee, which, in fairness, he did do a lot of damage with what was left. Because considering that Cell Jr. and Aurelie did about 30k combined, Gotenks did the rest.
They
of
did
everyone.
close to 40. So, well, they did 40. Cell Jr. had 17k.
Yeah.
And Aurelie had 23.
So they did 40, but the rest was on Goten stroke Gotenks. And he brought it back to what was it? Was it within 40k at the end? I think.
So it was 50, I think, because who was it? Souza tagged with 2 bars. 21, I think, was down to either 1 bar or she was still a little bit in her yellow.
She was down to 2 bars, I believe. I think
she was just a bit like into her yellow. Yamcha was still alive, and I'm pretty
Yamcha and Frost. Yeah, Yamcha and Frost were down to 1 bar though. I remember.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, I have the match pulled up right now. I think Salsa was alive too, so no one on Derp died this match.
Yeah, no one on Derp died.
That's crazy. For some reason, I thought
one
of them
exceptional
died.
Start. Exceptional
so
start.
So it was basically 60k.
Yeah, Frost was very close to death when he tagged, which is probably why you're thinking it.
Yeah, that's probably why. Well, I mean, I still think obviously there was good promise in Gotenks. It's just unfortunate with Cell Junior and Rayleigh.
Oh yeah.
I
do want to this is season. I am definitely gonna do more Gotenks and everything like that. Like last season, I think we did a decent amount, but we still kind of held back on it. This season, at least I'm planning on trying to do as much Gotenks as I can. And so far, each time I've used him, he's been pretty good. I think in like 1 week in preseason, he did like Goten did 50k, and then he fused, and then Gotenks finished it off. And then the other time was versus Namek, and I think we only had an issue. We lost that because Nail decided to come back, and one of our other characters didn't work. So like Gotenks so far has been perfectly fine. And everything. I'm just hoping that the rest of my team can kind of hold up on their end. So
I think that's the biggest like difficulty with fusions is since most of the time you'll be sacrificing a character, or well, technically both your characters to get the fusion up. You have to make sure the other people in the lineup around the fusion can also pull their weight. Because the fusion will most likely at least do enough to have one character have 40k, right? But the fusion's expected to do at least like 70 to 80 since it's 40k for 2 characters.
The
goal is
to have the other.
You can keep going. Chime in afterward.
It's just even if the fusion does well, if the other pieces to the puzzle of your team are lacking, it's going to fall apart. And this isn't just talking about progress, it's just talking like in general if a team had fusions, because I know there's potential for a Super Saiyan 1 Vegito fusion at some point if the loans and trades ever happen to work in that favor.
Specifically with fusions, it is kind of a trade-off because most fusion characters, I would say, are like above average characters in terms of stats and B2s and stuff like that, and they benefit so much more from range per tower than any other characters. Like they simply get more stats from the same Potara than other characters do, but you trade some consistency because they're harder to test, they're harder to they take away a tag opportunity. So they can be a bit hit or miss.
They're not guaranteed to fuse, as we've seen with seasons past. Like Goten gets crushed by like B2s and stuff, and either he'll do his B1 or he'll try to go for fusion. And if he does his B1, he loses the opportunity to fuse to technically get his health back, and try to get the damage like back in their favor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, anything? Have we got any other thoughts on the match before we move on?
No, I feel like we've been around the block on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Not really. Derp, congratulations. I hate y'all, but congrats. I don't hate y'all. Hey, listen. I think, and this is the last part I'll say. Arm Roz, I think, mentioned he was like, before the match started or a day or two ago, he was like, all right, we got our first win against Ruggers, and I think that was back in 2020 when they were on that huge loss streak. They got their first win against us, and he was like, all right, it's time for us to repeat that again. And hey, they got their second win against us. So they pulled out what they said that they were going to do. So
yeah, my final thoughts is congratulations, Derp. Definitely like a huge morale booster, and like good work on Frost.
Yeah, I agree. Congratulations, Derp. Good on Frost. Good on 21, and yeah.
Congratulations.
All right, moving on to match number 2. We have Hybrids versus Royals. I will let you do a little bit of a deep dive in a minute, Fathappy, but before we do that, we had Saiyaman and King Cold fighting against each other, both on Attack 2 builds, which I think went fairly evenly initially, but then I think King Cold ended up winning.
Yeah, it was fairly even. King Cold won, and then he immediately died to, I believe it was Teen Gohan.
Teen Gohan,
who came in afterwards.
But I think how King Cold was able to win that is I'm pretty sure King Cold jumped back and did a few full power death beams, and Gohan just decided to, well, not Gohan, but Saiyaman decided to.
It is Gohan. Wait, no, you revealed the secret identity. No.
People already know. But no, he just decided to not dodge.
Yeah. That is a bit of an issue. That is a slight issue. If you can't dodge those little death beams, it's not going to go well for you.
If you don't dodge B2s, you tend to get hit by them instead.
Exactly.
That is bad.
And get lost. And if you get hit by said B2 and don't dodge, you end up being dead.
Yes.
And then you go to hell. Oh wait, you were already on hell in the first place. Never mind.
Yes. But after King Cold gets deleted by Gohan, then it's Majin Vegeta that comes in. Majin Vegeta, I think, loses like a bar and a half against Team. Completely decimates him with like just a couple of B2s because he's currently on his super build again. And then Trunks comes in.
Yeah, what was it? To go off of that a little bit, Majin Vegeta, when he's doing his rampage against Gohan, has basically a quarter above his yellow bar. So Fathappy is Fathappy. But you also have to remember, this is basically, if anything hits Gohan, it's going to hurt, because not just the Super 2 from Majin Vegeta, but also the defense minus from Gohan itself. And also something interesting to point out, they're running base Teen Gohan this season.
That is true.
That is very interesting. Is base teen and base what is it, adult?
Yeah.
Oh, so basically they got 4 members of our base, because if you count Saiyaman.
They also have Sword Trunks, Adult Gohan, Teen Gohan, and Saiyaman.
I guess they've decided they don't like the blonde hair treatment.
Nah, Future Gohan's Super Saiyan, isn't he? Is he the only one?
No, that's true, but Future doesn't, really have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, Future's base form isn't bad. It's just they've had better luck with.
I'm gonna be so honest. He's been in Super Saiyan for so long, and I've completely forgot he had a base form at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I hard luck to Super Saiyan.
I thought one season they had him in base. No.
They had him one season in base, but he didn't really do too great. He has a good kit. He just didn't do too great.
Yeah.
But back onto the match here. Yeah, after Majin Vegeta absolutely decimated Teen Gohan, Trunks kind of had his number.
Yeah, he very much did.
Trunks was like, "Father, you turn to the dark side. I'm going to kill you now."
Alternate universe ending to the Buu saga.
Trunks just came back again during the Buu saga.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Next came out your FA actually.
Yes.
Bobbity.
Bobbity indeed. Bobbity is, I mean, the thing with Bobbity in this matchup, he also kind of got decimated by Trunks, but not for lack of trying, because he threw out a bunch of B2s. It's just that Trunks decided to only get hit by one. So he even threw out a couple of ults. I believe he threw out two. No, he threw out one. One ult, but he was in max power mode several times.
Actually, it wasn't just Trunks decided to get hit by one. Trunks did basically his own version of fucking UI, and as soon as one of the B2s would have hit, he jumped back to ult.
Yes.
Yeah, Bobbity was very unlucky in this match.
Yeah, Bobbity had a decent shot of beating him, especially if the ult had hit, which I'm almost surprised that it didn't. Because it's one of those cases where I believe the ult hit the wall and dissipated before Trunks would have flown straight into it. So, I don't know. It's maybe a bit of an unfortunate first showing for Bobbity, but I have nothing against Bobbity at all.
I'm gonna be honest. He definitely could have had it because his 1B2 that hit, it did 11k.
Who was it against?
Trunks.
Oh, fair.
Also got to see adult Gohan appear.
Like the thing is, if I can win a season with Videl, then I can definitely win a season with Bobbity.
I feel like to an extent, Videl has some redeeming qualities in terms of
they're the same character, except that Bobbity has like better ult, better charge rate. No, maybe not charge rate, but he charges free bars naturally. I believe.
He has
able to key blast.
Yeah, he does have a defense minus though.
Do you need key blast when your hit is geared towards the knee punches?
You have to remember. You have to remember the season he had Videl, he also had Baby Vegeta.
This is true.
While Bobbity is kind of required to be in over Pilaf.
Yeah, but
not really required, but he's over Pilaf.
But would you say they didn't have Deborah working the way that he was last season? Would you say Deborah last season was better than Baby the season that Royals won? Because I would say that Deborah being in last season was like one of the best characters in the league, whereas Baby was good in the playoffs, but from what I remember, like overall that season, he wasn't as good as what Deborah was.
Yeah, that is basically correct. As far as I remember, Baby was right around 40k for most of the main season, and then in the playoffs, he really performed.
Yeah.
While Deborah was like just really consistent. One thing to also take away is Deborah actually wasn't that bad. It's just the two opponents he had to go through are kind of just really good against him because they just charge jump back B2, and Deborah was kind of missing a lot of his B2s because he was always going for the orb and not the mouth beam and not the breath.
Yeah.
But also, it's adult Gohan. He jumps back, does a 12k explosive dodge. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about him going for the orbs instead of the breath is that I fully believe that the game, like I obviously don't know exactly how the AI works, but I'm pretty convinced that they have like a priority system of some kind, depending on like how, what the expected range of a like B2 is, like how easily available is it, how much ki does it cost, that kind of stuff. And so Evil Impulse isn't just a large orb 2-bar that he charges to naturally. He throws it out constantly because it has so much more range than the flame.
You did get unfortunate a lot of the time because, like, Bobby threw out his ult and Deborah threw out several P2s, but they threw him out when the hybrid's character was already dodging.
Yeah, it's the characters were working as intended. The hybrid's characters just dodged well.
They just learned from Piccolo.
Yeah, dodge.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, so good showing from hybrids. I'm not really upset that I lost.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
It wasn't that without. It wasn't that
No.
dominant, was it? It was.
Yeah.
It was within 30 or 40,000, wasn't it?
At the end,
yeah.
At the end, adult Sword Trunks had basically 3 bars, and adult lost maybe 10% of his last bar. That was it.
Okay.
So it was within a whole character, but the last character that Royals had was Deborah, who can do a whole character. It's just as Fathappy said, working as intended. Hybrid's just dodged.
Yeah, Deborah was on the same build he was on the entirety of last season as well. So
it's just one of them things. It's not always. It happens exactly. You can't always win. So, yeah, congratulations, hybrids. Obviously, commiserations, Fathappy. Do we have any final thoughts, or are we good?
No, I think I'm good. I think we've gone around the block on this one as well.
yeah, I think that was good.
Cool. Tosh, maybe.
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
Right. Okay. Match number 3. We have Sentai versus Muscle. To start with, we had Burr on his Defense 2 Eternal Life build, and we had Super Saiyan Trunks for Muscle on his Attack 2 build. Who am I going to pass it on to first? Who wants to speak first, actually? We have a volunteer.
Well, I spoke a lot last time, so one of the...
I will pass it on to Tosh then, actually. If he's
wow. Just picking on me. Damn.
No, I'm not picking on you.
Picking on the little guy.
Nah. Yeah, picking on the little guy. Yeah, the child.
I just trust your judgment. Tosh, that's why.
Nah, I kind of just watched the match myself because some of these matches I have not fully seen. But watching through that match and everything, it was kind of surprising that. So first off, it was, as you said, it was Trunks versus Berta, and I was kind of shocked. Berta kind of pulled it out against Trunks. I think beating him pretty handily, if I recall.
Yeah, it was a very big beatdown.
I want to say he beat him, and he didn't lose. He didn't even lose a bar, I think, against Trunks. And then Bojack comes in, and Bojack was able to chip at him a lot more. I think he ends up taking Berta out. He ends up taking Berta out, and then Jiren comes in. When Jiren comes in, Jiren quickly puts freaking Bojack to the side there, and then Grandpa Gohan comes out. Oh, and I'm sorry. Trunks ended up tagging. That's what it was. He tagged into Bojack. So, but just in general, because I don't usually handle, the recaps, especially since I just watched it and everything. Don't feel too comfortable. Y'all can do that. But I just it's kind of weird and kind of great to still see that Berta is still going, kind of really strong ever since that buff that he got, and then of course that build that Sentai was able to give him. I think that was like maybe a season or 2 ago. He's just been crazy, and just to see him to overpower Trunks like how he did, that's not something that I would generally expect, especially since I see Trunks as the number 1 for Muscle. And then Sentai just got a really strong lineup this season. They got Jiren, they got Berta. Now they got Ultimate Gohan. Yeah, this match ended up being really. Basically, Sentai ended up winning this one, as you guys can probably see on the slide. But it wasn't too large of a devastation. It was. I think it was within 30K. I think to end it off.
That's a good question. I don't know. It seemed like a pretty handy victory for.
It was.
Yeah, they were both on their last character. Gohan.
Oh, okay.
Gohan,
yeah.
Grandpa Gohan just had almost no health when Sable.
In max power mode, even so, with full indignation stacks. So
off.
it was a 1 ult away from being equalized.
Yeah. So yeah, no. overall, great match and everything. I'm just shocked that, like I said, on Trunks' side, on Muscle side, that Trunks kind of struggled against Birder as he did. But you had everyone on Muscle transform. Bojack is one of the people that are if I recall, is usually hit or miss with his transformation. He either goes for full power or he goes into his buff form. He chose his buff form this time. He actually utilized it. And we actually got to see Super 13 as well, which I think he did pretty well, but Jiren was his opponent there, and that didn't turn out too well for him.
Yeah.
Oh, something we haven't talked about is that currently they're using the Beast form costume for Ultimate Gohan.
Yeah, nice. It's a nice new costume.
Yes.
I don't know. I think from what I remember this preseason, and I don't remember like precisely how he did this match. I just remember that he was probably not at his best. I don't think Ultimate Gohan has been all that great since they've picked him up off obviously the loan deal. But I mean, hopefully he improves. Hopefully Gohan Beast does go Beast. I just know that he's been struggling a little bit. Obviously, Jiren in this match, I remember, was a big reason why they won, because Jiren shut down 13, which is what
No, he didn't actually. 13 won.
He did a lot of damage to 13. I remember.
Yeah, 13's almost at his last bar when he transforms.
That's what I meant though. He kind of like put 13 down within within death range, basically, because not many people.
It's still 13.
It is 13. That's what I mean. You've got to like shut 13 down quickly. Was it Ultimate Gohan that finished him off then? Because I do remember.
It was, but Ult lost 2 bars because of 13.
Well, there you go. But Jiren did a big number on 13. I remember that. So, but yeah, Ultimate Gohan, he's been struggling a little bit. So I kind of hope they find the formula with him.
I was actually going to touch on that after, but what I wanted to say is I'm very not surprised by Birder, but more proud of Birder, because Trunks is normally like a heavy melee character, right? But Birder is normally one of those characters I think can beat a heavy melee character, just because he normally is like up in your face, attacking very fast, disrupting combos, and now they just have him on literally you sit there and tank while doing your damage through like melee combos. But I will say, I think due to Birder being on a just pure tank, he's on defense 2 EL latent, it has hurt Ultimate a bit, because Ultimate's normally, on like an attack 2 EL build.
I think it's pretty universally considered that EL is one of the single strongest Potara in the game. I don't know if anyone disagrees.
No, it is.
I just think this is one of the first seasons. Well, technically it is the first season I've seen Ultimate Gohan loaned out. It's just, I think this is one of the first seasons where we've seen Ultimate Gohan not on EL.
Yeah.
But also, since he's on the team, he's not on EL. Going back to hybrids a little bit ago, I just remembered. They actually get to test out a different EL user than Ultimate Gohan, so you can say it's both like kind of a win-win for both teams, because Sentai gets Ultimate, hybrids to test out a new EL user. It's just more of, you have to try to figure out what makes Ultimate, what makes the Beast, still work like he used to. Yeah, I referenced that since he's in his Beast costume.
Form, yeah.
Also, to be honest, Jiren helped, but I was not as impressed with Jiren, really.
I think it's more who he was going against, and obviously helped sort of put 13 within killing distance. Because honestly, if 13 had if he had an extra bar against what he was already doing against Ultimate Gohan, he probably, like you said, he had 2 bars to Ultimate Gohan on his last bar, right?
one super explosive wave did 13,000 damage.
So he could have done a lot more if he had an extra bar and he was going against Ultimate Gohan.
Well, honestly, he also could have just done more if he was on his last bar anyway for the last indignation stack.
True, but I'm on about like having that health. To deal more time on the field against Ultimate Gohan.
No, yeah, like, but Jiren was doing really well at the 13. I think it's more of he came in and immediately ulted Bojack, who had a bar left of HP, and if he just like melee comboed Bojack, because Jiren certainly has the damage, especially if he does the max power mode combo in free B2. But if he ulted 13 with the way he was going about against 13, Sentai would have had probably a much larger win over Muscle. But because 13 was able to hang in there and basically do the same amount of damage back to Jiren, if not more, because like 2 full power energy waves basically did like 3 bars to Jiren.
Yeah.
It was just really, it was close.
I know you said you weren't like impressed with Jiren, but I'm pretty sure he did do around like 50k, if not more.
So I'm looking at the stats. Jiren did 69.
Yeah, like
yeah,
he did very well, all things considered. The character I was more impressed by was Grandpa Gohan.
Yeah, Grandpa was impressive.
I feel like Grandpa really held his own. Like he got a bit, maybe not wrecked, but he did get. He was losing against Jiren, and then he tagged, but he was giving it a really good effort. Like he was keeping up with pretty much 1-for-1 with Sentai at that point. It just they were already behind, so what going 1-for-1 is not like good enough.
Yeah.
He was doing the work he needed to do, but he needed to do far more work than that to actually win.
Yeah. Do we have any more thoughts on this match, or do we want to?
That's all I needed to say.
I think so. Yet another block traversed.
Yep. Congratulations, Sentai, and yeah, commiserations, Muscle. On to match number 4. We have GT versus Cinema. Obviously, I'll pass the mic over to you, Destiny, in a moment. But first, we had Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta starting for GT on his Attack 2 build against Fasha, who was on her Attack 1, then AT, then build. And yeah, I'm just gonna pass over to you, Destiny, since I'm pretty sure that you're gonna know a lot more than the rest of us on the little details. So
I didn't watch this match until like 2 days after it aired.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, because I was busy. I listened in, but with the way of how YouTube and Twitch do their thing, sometimes it lags and then does not come back. But anyway, from what I saw and from what I've talked about in team chat, from what my team's talked about, Fasha did really good versus Super Saiyan 4, and Vegito, for honestly like the first time of recent memory for me, did really well, because was it this AI we have for him decided to not blow his ult immediately, and instead actually never use his ult at all, instead of exchanging that for hitting most of his B2s.
Nice. That's what you want.
But
to hear.
From what I remember from the match is Garlic kind of struggled versus Super 17. Also did end up failing to kill Super 17 when he had 2 bars and Super 17 had literally half a bar left. And that just spiraled into making it harder for Gogeta, because 2 of Gogeta's worst matchups right now are Sin and Imperfect Cell. and those are literally the two people he had to fight.
That is
Yeah.
somewhat unfortunate.
A bit unfortunate. At the very least, I thought this was an exciting match in terms of like obviously it's sad that you lost, but Super 17's performance was really fun to watch, especially when he absorbed the whole ultimate, wasn't it? Or was it just a fully charged Big Bang Kamehameha?
It was a Big Bang Kamehameha, just a regular.
Yeah.
He also died immediately afterwards, but it was like a moment where everyone would have.
I mean,
he did it.
from what we know of Big Bang Kamehamehas, they hurt.
It's true. That's true. They do.
But not in this instance.
Yeah, not when the person can literally just absorb it and say no, even though they immediately died after, which is honestly kind of also what killed the momentum for Gogeta, because Gogeta, using the key to kill Super 17 just for it to get nullified and have him to work a little bit more to kill him made it harder.
I mean, effectively, 17 just dodged He effectively just dodged it, and then he died 2 seconds later. So, but it was just an exciting moment, if you ask me.
Also, Sin killed someone with his ult. The worst ult ever.
Pretty sure it was.
He did it against Vegito at the end. And I think he also hit it again with someone else too.
He also hit it against Gogeta.
I will say this match was probably a lot closer than it actually seemed, because Sin had an incredibly early tag where he was still on green bars. Like he'd lost.
Oh yeah.
He'd lost like a bar and like 0.9 of a bar. He had like a sliver left on his second bar.
So when Vegito came in on his last bar, because he tagged earlier, forgot to mention that. Cell had like half of his third bar, and Sin, of course, had was regaining his health after his tag, and Cell had a pixel when he tagged into Sin. Also, Sin actually was on his yellow bar.
Eventually he got down to his yellow bar, but he tagged on his third when it's green. But he came when he almost died. But when Vegito died, he was on his yellow at the end, I think.
No, he literally came in from the tag full yellow.
He must have tagged twice then. He must have tagged twice because he definitely came back in on the green at one point. Because I remember seeing that too.
Yeah,
he must have tagged twice, because I'm literally watching it right now. He's against Gogeta. He is in his third, and then Gogeta rush blast him into his yellow.
Maybe that's what it was. But I swear that he came back in.
He tagged on yellow. He only came back in to finish off Vegito.
What? That seems weird to me.
I think
it's also experienced the Mandela effect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys experienced that, because Cell came in at full health. Though also, and yeah, because he tagged with a little bit. To be fair, you guys might also think it because he was still very close to having his full yellow bar. He just tagged at yellow.
No. Hold on.
I found it.
I have the video.
I found it.
It's
against Vegito.
Tag animation.
Yeah, it's against Vegito. He tagged into Vegito, and Super 17 came in. He was on his second bar. So he was still in the green.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. That makes more sense now.
Is this true? Oh my god!
I know I'm not crazy.
I thought that. I thought I was going.
We were talking. We were talking past each other. It's fine. Confusion
you know what
happens.
happens, especially when we have a lot more matches to talk about.
Especially when apparently
And-
Sin decided to tag like a monster.
He did.
And also just land ults.
That's true.
Yeah.
But no, at the end, Cell had literally a pixel of health, and Sin had his yellow bar left when he killed Vegito. So it was still technically plausible for Vegito to win, especially with the amount of damage.
How do we feel about Imperfect Cell on GT?
I like it.
One, it's interesting because it means GT doesn't have EL when Cell is in, which normally, EL was used for Super 17 on Androids, but considering how well Super 17 did on non-EL, honestly, pretty good. Congrats on them.
Yeah. I think it's pretty fun, to be honest.
Also,
I like
Baby used
seeing
it
him.
as well as another side point.
Mhm.
They used Eternal Life on Baby a lot. I like
Baby-
it as well.
Baby, Super 17, and Sin all have used EL in the past.
Yep. I agree. I like it. I think it's fun. I like the obviously it's not been done before. We've had the Freezer forms. This is the first time we've got a Cell form as an FA, so it's fun. It's fun to see someone using first form Cell as well, because obviously I don't think androids, even going back into the old league, have ever used imperfect. Obviously, semi-perfect.
I think I think they've tested imperfect, but they've never fully used them.
I can say from season 7 to the end of the league, we never have. That's the era of androids I was in. But,
yeah.
If my counting isn't wrong, Imperfect also just did really well because he took out about a bar and a half of Gogeta.
Imperfect did really well. Yes.
Yeah, Imperfect did really well. He took out about a bar and a half of almost 2 bars of Gogeta, and where Gogeta then died, and then he got Vegito down to half a bar.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the stat, Imperfect did 26k, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta did 27, and then Sin did 68, and Super 17 did a straight 71k. No extra numbers. So.
Did Vegito tag? Is that it?
No.
Vegeta died.
Vegito tagged. I forgot.
Oh,
this is what I get for skimming through the video again.
Also, I mean, for a character who is going to be assumed to be on cleanup, especially with Cell, like, it's not that bad, to be honest. He still technically did his damage. He just, he still almost died. But there is one thing I want to say, that is, Super 17 is technically on a different style of build for GT than he was on Androids. Because on Androids, they always had him on, like the spam builds, because 16 and Cell were around to take all the melee petards, right?
Yeah.
This man's just ready to box. He on all the melee.
I'm glad he's been freed from his shackles.
With Dragon Peak, by the way, and Master Throw.
Yeah.
Wild.
I will also say that I am very excited with this version of Sin Shenron that GT is doing ever since they started in the off season, which is like their Super 2 key KSA.
I think
Savior, and then they used to run. I know at one point they were debating between Indignation and Fighting Spirit. I feel like the best iteration was with Fighting Spirit, but now they're doing Indomitable Fighting Spirit. So like I'm just glad to just see a Super 2 build for him, because if he ever goes into Omega, that is gonna hurt.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Thunders are gonna hurt. His ult's going to hurt like a fucking.
And the best thing about his ult, if he goes into Omega and tags that KSA, he has a max power mode B1. He could potentially become like an ult spammer.
I mean, with the amount of tags he did this match, like hell, he even tagged more than what I think all of us thought, because fucking
Well, I think X-Man is going to be happy about this because he's on Yajirobe.
Yes, the ultimate AI.
No, it's not.
It is.
But it helps with tags. That's about it. It's not ultimate.
Tags.
Get out of here.
I think that Yajirobe AI is overhyped.
Overhyped.
Not good on most characters.
Haters gonna hate. Okay.
I will sit here with my Tien and Chaozu AIs, and that's all I need.
That's my kind of man right there.
Well,
That's my friend.
Wrong.
Also,
claiming Fathappy.
X-Men, you also have to realize not everyone's as lucky as you and have like fucking 20 ball ultimates, a Nova Strike, fucking like
Max Palmo B1s. Yeah, I know.
Three different forms of Frieza to fucking just take advantage of Yajirobe AI. Some of us have fucking rush ults that are ass.
It is true. I had to pick up Babidi to get a beam ult.
You didn't have to pick up Babidi.
No, I had to.
You
have Metacooler, who's a ball ultimate. Other than that,
yeah, but you always just think of it's Raj instead of Supernova. or Lock On Buster.
I wish I had a freaking Supernova. But no, I only have freaking Trunks' little finish buster.
All I'm going to say is if you look at the
wish I had a beam ult.
If you look at the percentages of Supernova hit rate on my team versus like Death Ball hit rates, you'd be surprised. Death Balls, despite being like 100 times smaller, hit fucking 90% more of the time than Supernova. So, don't ask me how. I just know it's true because it's mental. Okay.
All right.
Be happy with Death Balls. They're fine. They're great.
Well, one thing I'll say is, man, I wish I had a ball ultimate that didn't spread out 3 times.
But yeah, anything else we have to say other than?
Honestly, even though I lost, I honestly am not mad. I'm excited to see this new form of GT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think it was a good match, and yeah, commiserations, Destiny, GG, GT.
GG's. Has been well trodden.
What did you say? Sorry, Fathappy?
The path has been well trodden. Shall we move on?
I think so. On to match number 5. We have RW versus Namek, and to begin with, on RW, Marjube started, and on Namek, Tambourine started on an Attack 2 Eternal Life build. Both are on Attack 2 actually. Yeah, I'll pass this over to Fathappy. Why not?
You pass it over to me.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I haven't talked much first yet.
No, if you want to take it, you can
I just
go
thought I gave it you first for your match last, but if you want to go,
look at you neglecting.
Hey, Destiny did
over
it.
Here.
Destiny did it first on his match. I don't mind. I'll pass to anyone.
So, at least still catching up on it right now, but from looking at it, Tambourine and Maju were basically even. Considering, you know, it's Maju, and he's normally a very consistent.
But Tambourine is on Eternal Life.
Yeah.
So maybe it might have helped keep him in, I guess, against.
Also, Maju did ult. For that sweet, like, I don't know, total 3,000 damage, I think, technically.
Yeah.
A bit of a waste of ki, perhaps, but damage is damage.
But damage is damage. You know what? He did tag.
That's true. Very true.
Now, can we just talk about the GOAT, Roshi, trying his best versus Nuova Shenron?
Yeah, it was a rare case of Nuova kind of getting overpowered by Roshi.
Also, Nuova going for his ult instead of literally anything else, surprisingly.
I mean, I'm not sure that's surprising necessarily. I feel like Nuova really likes throwing out his ult when he has the chance.
Well, I guess when he has a chance, but I'm normally used to him doing like 5 of every single B2 he has before ulting.
That's also very fair. Nuova is one of the premier spammers of the league. There are few people that do it better than Nuova.
But Roshi keeping pace with him, even taking a lead at certain points.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, very good from Roshi, to be fair. I mean, I think Roshi is probably a criminally underrated character in the sense that I remember one of Muscle's bowls. He was one of the... obviously, there was the funny... because it was before we had the mod to the pushbacks, he pushed back like a load of times and he did a load of damage to himself. But besides that, in that whole like Muscle going for the bowl, he was one of the key components of that at one point. Like I think he got an elite even going in playoffs. So I think, and also on Kaiju as an FA, he was always like he was good for them, like really good. So I think a lot of people sleep on Roshi, but I do think he is like a very good character.
He didn't do much after transforming, but I think part of the appeal of Roshi is he's one of the only characters that has a Kamehameha B2 that isn't chargeable. It's a cutscene.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they built him for B2ing, and that Kamehameha actually did quite a bit of damage to both Nail and Nuova. Though, as soon as Nail came in, he did struggle a bit more, but it is probably harder for him to punch through Nail because of, like, stalling, and Nail also just was a bit more dodgy than Nuova was.
But what followed was the queen herself. 18
is always fun to just watch, especially whenever she can get off her ultimate. It's one of my favorite ults in the game, to be honest with you.
She cleaned the slate with the rest of Namek. Really impressive showing. Did she go elite?
No.
I don't think anyone went elite this week.
Don't think so, no.
So she got...
She did a lot, though.
85k.
85k. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty darn close.
And we get to see a rare android barrier, too.
I mean, with all the barrier B ones, I feel like they just happen. And when they happen, you're like, oh, that's a thing. And then you move on.
And then you don't see it for, like, again. So,
pretty much.
To be fair, late Piccolo, as normal, like, was keeping up with 18 rather decently well, even considering how well 18 was doing beforehand. It's just at that point, with a low late Piccolo and a low Nuova, there's not really much that you can do, especially since Maju's in the back. There's a full Yajirobe.
Wow, 18 took out all of Nail, losing only half a bar.
Hey, it happens.
18 can be a complete monster when she wants to be.
Oh yeah.
And then, honestly, it's more of a testament to her for she's against Nuova, right? She lived a burst attack from him, and then just completely never let Nuova kill her until she had enough to do an infinity bullet to kill Nuova.
Yeah.
I mean,
power of androids.
That is true. It is the power of androids. Like I fully believe that androids is not the team, but like the archetype of like the passive chargers are the single best anti-spammer characters in the game because they're forced to be melee all the time.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they can't spam, but it's more just that they will run up and melee you because they will never stand back and charge.
Yeah, not to say they can't spam, because 18 and 17 certainly do that.
Yes.
But they don't let you have the opportunity to spam.
Yeah. They cut you off from getting key while still getting theirs.
And also they can't be countered by like the key drain grabs or or like any drain stuff at all.
That's true, but it's like a fairly small side benefit. like the characters with sunglasses and stuff. Is that a thing that the characters with visors and glasses get solar flared?
Yeah, they.
Yep. Roshi, the Saiyamans. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is it. I don't think there's anyone else, but yeah.
So I guess anyone else have anything?
No, apart from like, I mean, congrats RW on getting 18 to consistently work, because she was pretty much the same last season, and she seems to be continuing to do the work.
Yeah.
Or congrats RW. My God, Orochi was proving himself. He had some pent up aggression.
What was how was Roshi acquired on RW?
FA.
FA, right? Yeah. Roshi really just decided that, wow, I'm no longer on muscle. Freedom.
So wasn't he on Budokai?
Was it Budokai?
Yeah,
or damn Budokai?
I've always thought of Roshi as a muscle basically exclusive for whatever reason.
No, he was.
I mean, because he never left there.
He was on his FA last season.
For Kaiju, definitely.
Yeah, for Kaiju a couple of seasons ago. I think it might have been for Budokai last season. But he's been an FA for a few seasons now. But RW have picked him up. They're fixing him up, and he's doing pretty well. So congrats and commiserations to Namek, I guess.
Yeah, we keep walking around this world. Yeah. Damn, all my words got all jumbled there.
We keep moving.
Fantastic story.
We keep moving. Yeah.
We keep moving along, trucking along.
Namek.
We still got a few more matches to go to anyway.
Exactly. So on to match number 6. We have Androids versus Earth Defenders, and Androids, they started off with 16 on attack 2. Well, it's an attack 2 build. Everyone knows 16. That's all he normally does. That's his go-to. Tien was on something new though. Normally he's on a defense build. He's on a key 2 sort of spam build with Dende's. I will actually start this one because I remember this match really rather well, I want to say. So 16 started, and 16 does what he normally does. He kind of pushed through Tien, and then it was, I think, it was Mid Vegeta that came in, wasn't it? And 16 tagged, 17 came in, and 17 does what 17 normally does, which is basically extend the lead, because androids normally they start with 16 or obviously in previous seasons sell points. He hits alt
F4 for the other person, basically.
Exactly. That is exactly what 17 does, and he sort of hyper extended the lead. And normally what happens at that point is you think, okay, so
Android's going to just run through the match.
Yeah, because 17 was still there, 16 was still there, and obviously 19 and Tao was still there.
But no, Mid-Q said no.
He did, and oh my god! And something I do remember from this match is Mid-Q's luck on clashes were pretty good. I don't know if I'll have to check. Let me check. Did he have a Power of Rage?
I have the builds.
He did not have a Power of Rage. So Mid-Q, I think he won 3 clashes. No Power of Rage. He may have had a max power mode boost on 1 or 2 of them. And then also he hit, despite being on an attack 2 build, I think he hit 4 of the rush B2s.
He got really lucky on how many rush B2s he did.
Yeah, he did.
You did bring something up. We're seeing Super Saiyan Mid-Q on a different build than usual.
That is very true.
He's on attack. He's on an attack melee build. Actually, Mid Vegeta is also on a different build than usual. He's normally on melee with at least a rush, dragon power or something like that, right?
Yeah.
No, he's on.
Attack 1, attack 2, dragon power.
Yeah, He's on launches support, Eternal Life with an attack +1 as his blue Tara with
Broly's ring.
a Broly's ring. So we're not going to be seeing big mid.
Yeah, but do they normally run? I think they normally run a Broly's ring. I can't remember.
Maybe normally.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but because I can't remember seeing Super.
I never remember
Vegeta.
transforming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't. That could be me being wrong though, but.
Also, again, yeah. Seeing another Rush B2 hit by mid Goku, which is actually unfortunate because Tao activated after mid strike, but he was too busy firing Ki Blast against max power mid Q, so they just bounced off while he got a free rush.
Yep. There was a lot of bad luck on androids. I mean, so the thing is, obviously, and I don't know what everyone else's mindset, but when 17 did kill mid Vegeta, I was kind of there and I was thinking, okay, well, it's probably too far at this point.
Too far gone.
Too far gone, yeah. Because I saw mid Goku maybe doing well and maybe taking out 17, maybe 16, but even then, like, I thought that between 19 and Tao, they would be able to sort of take out the rest. But no.
Yeah.
Also remember, mid Q tagged.
Yeah,
like when he with almost no health left.
Yep. And
I think Midku this week was the closest to an elite. He got 91.
Yeah. And now we talk about the main man, the champ.
The champ.
The champ.
Exactly.
His first time off of dirt in probably forever.
That is very true.
This is the first time because in the past old league, for viewers that are just joining us and then it's a new one, is that essentially Derp was the mascot and it was a rule that he could not leave Derp at all. And I want to say, I don't know if it was in the later seasons that they finally changed that or if that was just a new era thing that we made when we started up again. But either way, he can now, but he hasn't left until this season.
And even then, they were thinking about loaning him away even before they got Frost. So this was probably in the works for a while, especially since Herc's been lackluster the past couple seasons.
He's been home at Dirt for like 14 years.
It's one of those things where I have always considered Herc one of the top characters in the league as a whole, like probably like top 10 probably, and probably like the bottom of the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's really surprising that he actually ends up getting loaned or traded away.
Yeah, he's had a rough couple of seasons, so I think I understand why Derp did it. Obviously, ED are going to be the beneficiaries of it, but they've gone back to square one with his build. They've gone back to Super 2, and hopefully it works for them because he was a menace.
Can we just talk about if Hercule and Midq do the tag game as they did this match as well? Midq has Savior. He ended the match with an angry Kamehameha.
Yeah, he could definitely.
So
19 failed to do his job and absorb it. Okay. Or
I don't even know if they can absorb bolts like that.
I think they can.
Like, yeah, I think they probably can, but if they can, we haven't seen it because they haven't tried.
Well, it's very rare. I think typically they only absorb things when they're thrown from very far away. Yeah, so it's not common.
No, yeah, but what is it? Yeah, no, like very good on ED. Mid Goku, it's probably like one of the best weeks he's had for the last couple seasons. Because I'm pretty sure he's been more of like the back foot character for them.
Yeah, usually he's been like Super. So nice to see the change.
I mean, to be honest, like still kind of pretty good on androids, at least for like 16 and 17, because 17 still really did his character. Like, he did his character's worth, I think. And 16 did really good as well. But
Yes. 16 only beat out 17 by a little bit, by like 3k. Otherwise, 17 probably would have had the most damage on their team.
And then also remember, this is the first week where we didn't see semi-perfect Cell.
Yep.
True.
Also, Tao was a huge something that I don't think we
Was
ever mentioned. Tao was a huge disappointment.
Yeah,
he
like
only did 7.5k.
letdown. Yeah.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I think most of the matches so far have had. Oh well, I guess that's not true. But there's at least been 1 or 2 matches so far where someone did like negligible damage. No.
Yeah, characters. Sometimes these things happen.
It just happens on occasion. Someone just gets outpaced by another character.
Yeah. Any other remarks that we want to make, or are we good to get moving on to the next match?
Good.
I think we can keep on schmooving.
Let's keep on schmooving then. Right, on to match number 7. We have Budokai versus Buu Saga. Now, starting off with Budokai, we had early Piccolo on an attack 1 Dende's build, and Spopovich was on attack 2 Eternal Life for Buu Saga. I don't remember all of this match, but I can start on the start, and I know that Spopovich beat early Piccolo in a reasonably contested fight, but obviously Spopovich having the Eternal Life probably did help out in the end.
True.
After that, I'm gonna pass over to someone else, because I know that all the other thing I know is that Buhan did really, really well. That is something I do remember from the match.
Well, the interesting thing is that the next character came in was GT Goku.
On his new Super 2. Well, on his new build, on his new team.
New team, yeah. Like, honestly, this lineup is basically Piccolo and his squad of Gokus.
It has disappointed me, but sure.
It's Piccolo, squad of Gokus, plus Nam and whatever FA they get.
If only they kept Kid Goku. That would have been funny. Can you imagine if they had all the Gokus?
Imagine.
It's like, which Goku came in? It's like, it's Kid Goku. Wait, which Kid Goku?
God,
regular.
Imagine a season where I managed to get like all Vegetas, hybrids managed to field all Gohans, and what's it called? And Budokai manages to field all Gokus. Just
you'll be like, which Vegeta came in? The one that does Big Bang as his ult. The one that which Goku came in? The one that does Spirit. But which one?
Which Vegeta? The one that goes ape. Okay.
Which Gohan comes in? The short one.
Actually, I think you will probably want ED, because I think ED is the one that can actually get all the Gokus at this point.
Then Budokai can get
Budokai can't get mid.
They can get Kid, no?
No.
Mid
Goku is the only Goku that's an exclusive.
Yeah.
So it has to be ED who gets all the Gokus.
Yeah, early, mid, and
GT. ED just goes weird and drops mid Goku, so Budokai can pick him up as an FA. There you
go. That is true. They can do that.
But kind of go back on topic real quick.
Yeah.
I want to just say one point is that freaking GT Goku, kind of going back to what Fathappy was saying, he did really well. He took out Spopovich. I think he did like 10k or something like that, because that's all that was left. Took out Spopovich, and then Kid Buu comes in, and I want to say Kid Buu kind of just decimated him for the most part when it came to melee. And then when he hit him into like a building or something like that, and when he was getting up, he did like a fully charged Kamehameha to his back. And it looked like it was just over for him after that. GT Goku sat there, was like, nah, hold my drink, got in a clash with freaking Kid Buu. did, I think it was 18k for that clash between the regular Kamehameha and Majin Kamehameha. Then he proceeded to dodge another Majin Kamehameha, hit him with another Kamehameha for 10k. He basically did like the majority of his damage that he needed to do. He did his job at the very least. But unfortunately, he went down against Kid Buu, and at that point, I want to say after that, that's when
I think that's early Goku.
Kid Buu ended up. Yeah, Kid Buu tagged out when early Goku came in, and then Buuhan came out for Buu Saga. And unfortunately, early Goku did not have this in the slightest.
No.
Buuhan kind of just had his number, and I think he only took like maybe a bar and a half before he took out early Goku.
For early Goku, he wasn't not even a bar and a half. Probably in terms of like actual damage bar and a half because he has healing, but he's a little bit over his half bar the second of the third bar. So
yeah,
and then
we did get to see a Dragon Fist.
That is true. This match was very much just Piccolo dying and then Goku dying and then Goku dying and then sadly Goku dying.
But the last Goku put up a fight, okay?
That is true. Put up a very good fight.
You guys noticed that it kind of went in quote unquote like chronological order in terms of their age. You had a kid Goku, and you had then you had early Goku, and then you had end Goku.
Like biological age, not like current age.
No. Physical age, because if we count, because if we say GT Goku's biological age, he'd be last.
Yeah.
True, fair.
I know what physical you meant, Fathappy. You meant, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of his current biology.
By the way, we'll say it's rather sad. Dragon Fist was literally 1,000 health away from killing Buuhan.
Yeah.
But hey, we did get a canon matchup. Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Kid Buu.
Didn't he go
not a
Majin
canon
Buu?
in.
Nor canon costumes.
Didn't he go against Majin Buu?
Huh?
No, he goes against both of them.
Oh, he went in both? So it's double canon matchup.
Yes. Because Buuhan tagged into Kid Buu after he still lived the Dragon Fist, and then Kid Buu died into Majin Buu coming out. Though, we'll say, Super Saiyan 3 Goku could have taken the match away because he still had the health, and remember, he's Super Saiyan 3. He cuts through Majin Buu's power body, so that doesn't stop him, unlike some other characters.
He brought it back. He tried. He did a lot of damage, from what I remember.
Yeah, and Buuhan had almost no health, so if he came back in, it could have been really good for Goku there.
Yeah, Goku did 79k, so it was good. Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest disappointment this match was early Goku, and I think we're starting to get into the, I wouldn't say meta, but like we're starting to get into the time where like the tank characters, they are able to do their damage while early Goku is not really able to keep up. Like he has to do Kaioken, which drains his ki, which is fine, but early Goku has not kept up a lot of the time to deal his damage.
I was gonna say, personally, I think it was in large part due to who he was going against. I don't think.
Well, yes.
I don't think you can stall very well against like Buuhan, because I just think that his damage potential is so high that you don't, even on the defense 3 Eternal Life, you don't have the time to do what early Goku likes to do. If he went against like Majin Buu, maybe he would have had a better shot, but
you also have to remember, Buuhan's not like on a big.
He's on attack 2. He's on attack 1, isn't he? I believe, or defense 2.
Buuhan, no, he's on super, if I recall, right?
No, Buuhan's on defense 2. Dende is latent, serious, quick, fast. No, he's in there to stall. He's a good statted character with 2 decent B2s to cut through a tank.
Yeah, like stalling melee.
I'm actually wondering now because if I recall, at one point I know they had Super 2 on Buhan, and it was working rather well. And then they swapped to trying to Evil Boo.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to Dora near the middle of preseason or something like that, and I remember him saying, or at the beginning of preseason, he was just like, Evil Boo wasn't really doing that well with the Super 2, and that they were going to go with that for Buhan. So I'm wondering what are they going back to Super for Evil Boo then? Is that what we're going to see?
Or maybe it's just because Evil Boo's not in, they went with the more
defense,
reliable build that they thought would work. And maybe next time that Evil Boo and Buhan are in, Buhan will be on Super 2 and then Evil Boo will be back on defense. Either way, it's interesting to think about. I do want to say, obviously, commiserations to Budokai, congrats to Boo Saga, but it's just a shame for Budokai because, as you said, it's early Goku. Pretty much everyone else did what they needed to. Maybe early Piccolo, you could argue, could have done a little bit more.
Early Piccolo did, the standard he put up a fight, but then he lost.
But he was going against. I know it's Spopovich, but he was going against Eternal Life, so you can say that. I mean, when the stats come out, I guess he probably did 35k maybe.
He did. So he did 37. GT did 39. Early Goku did 79, and then End Goku did 79, and then early Goku did 18k.
That's what I mean.
I will say something though. Spopovich actually does really hurt on attack too. Serious backed up.
He does.
So it's not like early Piccolo, because you see Spopovich, you normally think, oh, he's not really that hard of a character. No, he can hurt on a melee build. So early Piccolo going even with him wasn't bad per se. It's just Spopovich had the better healing, and he was able to get his combos in more than early Piccolo did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
any other thoughts, or are we getting ready to? Yeah.
I think we've really.
We can go ahead.
We've gone into this.
We need to. We need to
went
go
around
to
the block.
We need to go to xmat's favorite.
And it is my favourite match. It is.
xmat, I think you should really just take the word on this one.
I think I will. So, anyway.
Go off, King.
Match 8. Kaiju versus Cold. Slaves versus their...
Okay. Sir.
Maybe we should revoke xmat's
listen.
speaking privilege.
xmat.
Alright. Okay. We said
so
go
Destiny's
off.
taking over this.
Well, how else do you want me to describe it?
We have Cold Kingdoms. We have the bosses versus the workers. Okay.
Well, there you go. Okay, bosses versus the workers. Either way, either description.
Hey! It's a better analogy than what he said.
It might. Yeah.
We have the CEO and the ununionized.
Yeah. Okay. Well, precisely.
We have the rich versus the warriors.
Hey, all I'm saying is I never, I never said it was right. I'm just saying that's what it is. Okay.
Oh my
God.
Actually, you're not right because there's a character in there that's just not associated with you. Okay, got it.
That's true.
The regret I feel for saying xmat and take it.
I never encouraged any immoral behaviors.
You were just like, man, nah, we're just gonna let him go. We all got to say something. Start off with our match and everything. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, go off, King. We're gonna have to bleep it anyway. Let's go on. Let's go.
You don't need to bleep it.
Keep going.
That's fine. It's historical fact. Okay, that's all it is. So we had
doubling down.
Kid Goku starting against the Tyrant Frieza in his first form. And yeah, I mean, it's really good, entertaining start to the match. It was a back and forth. Kid Goku eventually on his last bar tags out. Bardock comes in with Savior. I'm kind of a bit scared at that point because I expect that Bardock will
Bardock
uses ult, uses ult, and then just start pummeling down. He doesn't use his ult. He does do, I think, a 3v2 with the savior, or at least he uses his savior for melee. But he doesn't do things quick enough because Freeze is able to transform all the way through his forms, hit a few B2s, and then eventually tags, leaving Bardock on about 1.5 bars. And he brings in my boy Mecha Frieza, and Mecha Frieza comes in and kind of struggles a little bit against Bardock because, as you all know, Bardock is a menace. He does some damage to him. He gets him down to his last. Well, he kills him in the end, I think. Actually, yeah, he does. He does kill him. And then Tao comes in. Tao is also a menace. So Tao is putting the beat down on Mecha Frieza. Mecha Frieza decides he's had enough. He gets out. He tags. He's on the goated Yajirobe AI, if anyone was interested. And then he brings in another Yajirobe AI user. Cooler comes in, and Cooler does what Cooler's best at doing, spamming the 2-bar I-beam. He spams Tao down to death. In comes Scouter Vegeta. Cooler transforms, tags, brings in King Vegeta. We have the King versus the Prince. It's not a canon match, but it's pretty damn cool. Unfortunately, for like my side of things, the Prince is a lot stronger than the King. That is canon. Scouter does absolutely beat down King Vegeta. There's no like two ways about it. And then Cooler comes back in, kills Scouter, and then it's just Goku, Kid Goku on 2 bars of health. Like, he tagged actually on the slither of his second bar, so he managed to get a full bar back. He's on 2 bars. You think at this point you've got 2 bars of Cooler, a bar of Mecha, and a bar of Frieza. You think, okay, probably going to be Cole's win. Kid Goku wasn't having any of that. He really, really tried. Like, he got within less than a bar. He killed Cooler, he killed Frieza, and he had a bar left, and Mecha Frieza came back in. And honestly, this match could have went like either way at that point. Just one good max power mode B2 like combo from Mecha Frieza managed to sort of seal the win. But yeah, despite how I started commentating on this match, was catastrophic. I think yeah, the match luckily wasn't. So, anyone have any thoughts?
First form is just Frieza in first form.
Yes, Frieza in first form.
Which means no EL.
No
and being transformed. No EL for Cold.
No EL for Cold, but mind you, they have so much HP gain since Cooler is also in first form.
Yep.
Base form.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. If Frieza is out, but you have Cooler in, can't you still give someone EL?
He should be able to use EL as long as Frieza is out.
It's only one. If I have 1 health transformation, I can have Eternal Life. So if Cooler is in, but Frieza is out, I can run like Eternal Life on Zarbon or on King Vegeta or I can,
or Mecha Frieza, but
yeah,
it's just like with GT and androids. If either of the 2 cells we have for this season or Frieza are out on the bench, they can use EL for the week.
Yeah. But I mean, as Fathappy says, there's about, it's not precisely 20,000 or anything, but there's about 20,000-ish health.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's about 20,000 health gain back on the cards.
The thing is, when you have that much health gain, then losing the healing from Eternal Life is not that big of a deal because it's not like those 4 points aren't being used for other things.
Yeah.
In a way, like, you have equivalent to what, like 2 Eternal Lives essentially, because Eternal Life will generally regain you like about 10k, maybe something like that. on average, I think. So yeah, you're what 20? Yeah, 20K. You said
20K across Cooler and Freezer. So if Cooler's out though, it's still 15-ish.
But by the way, I just want to say this. So about the Scouter King situation, they both came in full health, and Scouter killed his dad without losing a bar and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, sometimes you just gotta commit a bit of patricide and.
Patricide. I would have never heard before, but I appreciate it. Patricide.
He had to show who was the boss and that he's ready to be a king. So yeah.
Also, will note that if any point Bardock decided, hey, I wanted to ult third form Frieza, or if I just wanted to B2 Frieza at all, he would be dead.
Yeah.
He wanted to follow canon though.
Yeah, he wanted to stick to the canon, and he took a
no,
Nova Strike for it.
Yeah, he got Nova Strike, so not canon.
That's true.
It's a ball, okay? Whether it's a ball thrown at him or a ball being
Frieza
going towards him. Like literally a ball went towards him and he died from the ball.
Do we consider what's it called, Gotenks booze like a donut? Do we consider that
a ball? Also
a ball technically, because technically it turns people into like balls. Technically.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, technically, then Gotenks have a ball B2, but it's a rush.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? That means you can no longer complain about not having a ball.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
How about this?
You have one.
How about this? I'm staff, therefore I will complain about what I want.
All right. xmat, should we talk about our loan?
We shall. Actually, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Because you have, other than Zarbon, you now have one other non-cold family member on the team.
You have a worker, not royalty.
It's nice to have, you know, a bit of separation. King Cold was getting a bit too. I don't know. He was taking the reins a bit too much away from Frieza. Frieza wasn't impressed, so now he's been kicked to the side. King Vegeta's been drafted in, and it's great actually. It's fantastic. No more Eternal Life hugging from King Cold. King Vegeta doesn't use Eternal Life. We're still figuring him out, but
it's all good. King Cold, you know, he was having a little bit of a struggle, you know, maintaining his position over on Cold, so he decided to take a vacation and come to the good life over on Royals instead.
Oh, is that what it is?
Exactly. I mean, if you know, when you're staying with the double champion, you know,
there's two sides to every story. Okay.
Instead of seeing his family members all the time, he just wanted to go to other royalty, get more perspectives.
Well, he's still going to see a lot of Mecha Freezer if he decides to use his ult, but that's another matter.
But by the way, well, one more thing about the match. For how much you guys did with all the healing, all the B2s, Kaiju bringing it within half a bar. Just congrats.
Oh, congrats, 100%. But I have to say,
especially with Bardock not really doing as much.
Kid Goku. I don't know how much damage he did, like, cause I don't know if the stats are out yet, but I imagine it's within like 85 to 90,000 potentially, because it was mainly, obviously Scouter did a lot, well, a decent amount. He did like 40-ish. Tao did, I think, around the same, but most of it was GT Goku. GT Goku? Kid Goku. I'm getting confused. They all look the same. They're the same character. Don't attack me. No, Kid Goku did a lot. He did a lot. So, yeah, congratulations. Well, not congratulations. Commiserations, Kaiju. You almost won it. It was very, very close.
You call him Kaiju instead of the other thing. All right, making sure.
I said they were Kaiju. Don't twist my words. I've been slandered.
Alright, anyway, shall we
slandered? Sure.
Shall we get moving? We still have
Alright, let's move on.
Let's move on. We're on to predictions. Unless anyone wants to talk at all about the tier list, but I mean, I think we kind of cover that when we do the matches.
Yeah, we do. It's just good to show for the people who that watch.
I will just say the only person who's on the water people who actually just didn't come out to do a single lick of damage was Trunks.
Oh yeah.
Technically, even though we all know how Arndrazos is tier list.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, I think Majin Buu also he took 20,000 damage before he actually managed to kill Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Also, just one more thing. It was clarified Vegito should not be in the second tier. He should be a tier lower. You should be with Sin.
Also, just as an observation, purely an observation, Frieza calling Frost up the top there. It's pretty funny. The three what you call them? I can't even. Arcosians. Is that the word?
Frieza Race, Arcosians, Frost Demons.
Yes, that's pretty funny.
Which is funny. If you guys were using Final Form, they'd all technically be in their fourth looking form too.
Yeah, but Final Form's boring. Give me some first form flavor.
Honestly, I appreciate
give me some third form.
Can I just say, I feel like this is one of the seasons where there are more interesting transformations than usual with, or not just but forms on display. Because right now we have first form Frieza, first form Cooler. Not that that's that unusual, to be fair.
Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We also have Semi-Perfect Cell, and we have Imperfect Cell as an FA.
And with a base form GT when he's normally not really in base form.
Yeah. So it's an interesting season for transformations. Also, a ton of health gain on a ton of different teams now.
Yeah, it changed the dynamics a lot.
Imperfect, semi-perfect, Frieza and Cooler transformation.
And then you have Muscle with who already have their blue transformation. On 13. So.
Oh yeah, 13. I was like, who on Muscle can gain back health?
But yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting forms and stuff this season. So yeah, a whole lot to look forward to for the rest of the season. Speaking of things to look forward to, predictions. Match number 1, we have Cold versus Royals.
Easy W.
I wonder who's going to predict what.
Easy
since y'all are going against each other, obviously y'all won't tell who's benched or anything, so can't really do anything there.
Though, since we are in main season, we do know who's coming in. Potentially,
unless someone double benches.
Yeah, unless someone uses the double bench.
Yeah. Which I don't know whether I'm going to do yet, but
Well, the question is, can either of you actually do so? Because I think it's for Zenny for a double bench.
I think that I probably would have the Zenny. I got Devilman. I don't think anyone contested me for it, so I think I probably would have enough Zenny. But
I don't quite remember how many Zenny we have left either. So
but obviously I'm going to go with Cold for the obvious reasons of just me being biased.
So Cold has 9 Zenny and Royals has 10.
So we could both double bench if we wanted to.
That's very true.
I'm kind of hoping that depending on benches, we get to see a King reunion, but that would be funny just for that.
If nothing else, Meta is guaranteed to come back in.
Hey, we might get a Cooler v Cooler.
That could also be fun. Any of those sorts of matchup, I'd be very interested in. But yeah, I'm going to go with Cold, and I presume you're going to go with Royals Fathappy as would be my education.
Yes. Yeah, I would. Yes. Thank you very much.
So it's basically up to you guys. You two.
Basically, who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Destiny, do you have any idea? Because right now I'm kind of stumped. I want to like my first thought was cold, only because of the health transformations and everything like that, and how well they can do with that. Then I thought Majin Vegeta. To be fair, you have all the health transformations, and then you have Majin Vegeta.
I mean,
He's
not wrong. Majin Vegeta is kind of what on everyone's mind when they think Royal.
I also have an ace in the hole if I choose to use it.
Okay, Majin Vegeta.
Yeah, but do you know what the ace in the hole is?
It's freaking Devil.
You say
Devil Man. Exactly.
Because
Devil Man kill everyone.
Oh no.
He does kind of Deborah.
Okay,
Actually, hold
okay.
On. I'm curious.
Okay, but X-Men.
Yeah.
You may have that, but that also requires him to use it.
That's true. And that also requires me to use him, which isn't necessarily a given. But I'm just saying,
especially since you'll be taking him off the FA bench, literally the second week if you're doing that.
That is true, but it is an option.
I would respect it because I think my team is one of the most susceptible in the entire league.
Your two teams are literally two of the most susceptible.
To put some context into it. To put some context into it, I do also go against Budokai next week.
True.
It's not true.
Like he'd be. So if I want to bring Devilman in, it's not going to be like exactly a net loss, is it? But again, I'm not.
Honestly, that's like super bad.
I do recall once upon a time where Deborah was fighting Devilman in a preseason. I don't think it was last one. Where he got hit and he took 30k damage.
Yeah.
I
know King Cole got hit.
I also recall King Cole getting nearly his entire HP
gone. Twice that happened.
Same match?
No, yeah, well, one was the first week of the season, and the one was the playoffs, and then he almost got hit by I think it was Mecha Freezer almost got hit by a third in the same like playoff bracket.
What? Let's see. Anyway,
Oh my god.
I was trying to see on the player calculator because I know there used to be a area where you can see how much Devil Might Beam does to a character, but it's not on there anymore.
I know you can see like their evilness counter.
Majin Vegeta has 60 evilness.
I think Evil Boo is the highest.
Deborah is 90.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like Evil Boo and I think Evil Boo and Deborah are like the two highest.
But yeah.
But let's
who
see
else
if
could it work against?
Bobbity.
Bobbity,
Metacooler, King Cole.
All of them.
Majin Vegeta, it would still hurt.
Ooh. Oh, Metacooler. Who else? It was Majin Vegeta, Deborah, Bobbity,
Metacooler, and King Cole.
King Cole.
And I guess if you want to consider this chance that I bring back Pilaf,
your money.
You're welcome to
Pilaf. He brings him back in to counter Devilman because he's
exactly. I am playing 4G chess right now.
So my gut feeling after looking at all this evilness, I still want to say Royals, but you are heavily screwed if freaking Devilman decides to work against your team and if they bring them in, because your team has 60 or above.
And he has Budokai literally the week after, so it's not like it'd be bad.
It wouldn't be that bad.
But if I was to vote for somebody, I feel like I'd just be saying, fuck you to the other person here. I would say by the slim margin that Cold will win just because of all their transformation bullshit. And it's not like when Frieza transforms, like the forms are useless either. Like, yeah, there's Majin Vegeta, but I mean, if he transforms and does a B2 that hits Majin Vegeta at least each transformation, that's going to hurt.
It's very true.
But yeah. So is that? I'm not gonna count the votes.
Tosh hasn't voted yet.
Tosh hasn't voted.
Well, he voted Royals, didn't he?
Yeah, I voted Royal.
So let's just say that's 1-1 because mine and Fathappy's votes are like.
It's tied either way.
It's tied either way.
It's fine. The entirety of Cold Kingdom is basically just a subdivision of Royals, anyways.
Cold Kingdom existed first. So actually, you're my subdivision.
Yeah, but all the greatest parts of it left.
Actually, no,
Cold
because
Kingdom and Royals were made at the same time.
Okay, Cold existed first. Cold Kingdom is like a...
I thought we were just talking like straight in lore, and then it would technically be no because in lore.
Probably. Pilaf, sorry.
No, yeah, in lore, Pilaf and King Piccolo would make Royals.
Well, that's beside the point. Whatever. Either way.
You don't like this.
Let's move on to the next match.
But moving on, we technically have another one that's kind of similar because they have
hybrids, the lone deal, yeah.
Yeah, the lone deal.
I'm gonna just start off and just say Sentai. They got freaking Jiren and Ultimate Gohan. And Burter.
I'm gonna counter your point by hybrids have sword trunks, and he's a beast.
And adult Gohan.
And future Gohan.
Okay. Also, I may be a little biased here. I want to say hybrids because the person coming back in for Sentai's bench is ass.
Oh, is it Videl?
It's Zeng.
Oh,
no,
it's
Zengaya.
Oh, they have a FA bench, don't they, Videl?
They have Videl FA bench and guys coming back in, unless for some reason they double bench Zengaya, but that'd be absurd.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
Still.
And Future is either coming back in or will get double benched. And I mean, there are people Future can come in for, like.
But here's the
come
thing:
in for, say, a man or team.
If you think about it, doesn't matter if Sword or what's his face, Sword or adult Gohan can spam if Burter stays in their face the whole time and just speed splits them. That's it.
But I mean, but then there's also the counter argument. It doesn't matter if Burter can stay in their face if they just kill him with spam. So
I feel like that's real hard because I don't see that happening. But I digress.
But that's also if Burter is against the spammers.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it to Sentai just because, to be honest, just because Jiren. Jiren is such a monster most of the time.
That's true. I agree with that. But Adult Gohan is so good that I don't know. I just think Adult Gohan, Future Gohan, and one of Teen Sword is such a good 3 out of the 4 that I don't know. That's who I'm back in. But so what's that? Was it 2 for hybrids, 2 for Sentai? Oh my god, everything's gonna be tied. Okay, match 3.
Next we have the ending of Z and entire series after it.
I like all these themes to all these matches. It's interesting. So personally, I'm gonna go with Buu Saga because I just think, as is in every season, they are like one of the, if not the strongest.
Baby Vegeta is coming in most likely for GT. I almost said ED, and Buu Saga has Buu.
Yeah.
I will say, I will say my vote at least will probably be honestly go to GT. Because while GT has like 4 consistent while GT character had 4 consistent characters out last week, I mean, so did Buu Saga, and Baby Vegeta I'm pretty sure has been doing decently well. And if the performance like last week for Super 17, Sin and Cell go the same, but Cell does like a little more, mostly the Super 17 and Sin part. It will probably be hard for Buu Saga to do its thing. Though, what's also funny is, Power Body is a null factor this entire match, unless Spopovich is in.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. I think part of, well, the reason that I think Buu Saga are more, or in my head more likely to win is probably because their melee is like, especially Kid Buu, but also Buhan. It's so like strong and also so quick. Like a lot of GT's characters, like Sin, his melee is quite slow. Obviously, he's not built for melee, but like he is a slow in melee sort of fights. He's a slow character. Same with I don't think 17's all that quick either. And who was the other one that I was thinking? Oh, Perfect Cell. I don't think he's very quick in melee either. So Kid Buu, that's where usually you get to, because like you didn't have the time to respond because he's just so fast. It's kind of the same with Berta, but to a lesser degree. So that puts me kind of like thinking towards Buu Saga, with the caveat being they are struggling with Evil Buu at the moment, as you said earlier, Tosh. So that is a little bit of a caveat. But yeah.
I'm gonna have to give it to Buu Saga. I think Buu Saga typically are an incredibly strong team, and from what I can tell, if they like take out Spoke and like put in Evil, then that's their best lineup, isn't it? So it's I think they have more upside overall over GT.
Yep.
Well, personal opinion.
But what I will say is they probably won't take Swope out, because if that is
True.
their strongest lineup,
they have a fight with the week
as
after,
a divisional. So. Yeah, that's which I know they don't count for as much.
Oh anymore, yeah, that's also. Wait, what Kai is GT in?
GT's in East.
East. Yeah.
Okay, so they're the week after.
Yeah.
So, and then I would say for me, I'm actually going GT.
Yeah.
Partly because GT, if they can, Foster is a menace and everything. And I know. Let me finish.
Oh.
No. Foster is a menace, and therefore going against Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta probably wasn't the best matchup, unfortunately for him. That wasn't the best
Vegeta still kind of went even, by the way.
Vegeta she still outpaced him, and I seen how Fasha is, and I hate Fasha just because I know how good she is. So I would say, like, if maybe it was an off week for Vegeta, who knows? But we also seen just Vegeta, just do well in general. So if he's still in there, and I think he may be a good starter to go against Spopovich at that point. And then with everyone else, we've seen how Super 17 did last week, and Sin Shenron. If Sin Shenron did what he did this week against Cinema, and then you just add in that he goes Omega, where he actually has better B2s, I don't see it. I don't see Buu Saga really pulling it out. It'll probably be a closer match, but I still give the edge over to GT.
So once again, it's
a tie.
2-2. I think that's just going to be the theme of this week.
Yep.
So match 4, Namek versus Muscle.
Muscle has, I believe it's Raccoon coming back, because I believe Broly is on the FA bench.
And what is it? King Piccolo coming in for Namek?
Let's see. Yeah, Muscle weekly bench is Raccoon that's coming in, and Namek has King Piccolo. Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, it's funny that baseball was on the FA bench.
This is a tough one.
I think I'll have to give it to Muscle. Muscle has all the transformations. I think they're just a tiny bit stronger than Namek.
Yeah, because I think they can easily just put out Grandpa Gohan for Raccoon.
Yeah.
and it's not like Muscle has a divisional to worry about, but you might also say because they don't have the divisional to worry about, they might want to save the Grandpa Gohan bench for the divisional.
But Grandpa Gohan's been looking good though as well, so is it actually a case of, is he going to be the one?
Yeah, and to be honest, their weak link was Broly, who's on the FA bench.
Surprising to see, but he's in base form, so also I see that. I understand. Isn't he in base form?
Yeah, he's in base form.
Okay.
What is it though? I was gonna do something else. For Namek, it's always kind of hard of like, what is their best lineup with so and so benched, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say with how like certain people did last week, maybe Nuova could be on the bench, maybe not. But with Muscle, you have taken the fact of their transformations, like, because remember, and then like how good they are in base form already. And remember, Raccoon did really well last season, and Muscle, I think, haven't really changed much at all for Raccoon outside of that. Because they've normally struggled with Raccoon, then he went to Sentai and did really good. So you never know, we might be seeing a really good Raccoon. And this is on and remember, this is on a map where unlike Sentai's map, which is space, Raccoon can play it.
I say
so I'm saying Muscle.
Muscle. I agree with you, and I also say Muscle. Partly because with Namek, I don't think they're doing better in some aspects, but then like I think late Piccolo, I think he's on a different build. I think he's like on defense now or something like that, outside of his attack build. So I'm not sure. Like I feel like he's been a little bit more passive, at least from what I remember, either from previous in preseason or like tests that I may have seen. And they don't really have anyone really good to switch out to, like in terms of like FAs, because I think they picked up a pool or something like that.
Yeah,
they picked up a pool.
So
yeah,
and they didn't get like I don't know. It just depends. Like their characters can do well. Like Nail popped off against us in like preseason week 1, but honestly, I just don't see the rest of their team really picking it up and everything. And Muscle can really output some very good damage.
Yeah.
So.
I really wanna vote for Namek so it's not a landslide, but I just completely agree with what all of you guys have said. Muscle.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Muscle feel like Muscle feel more pieced together right now. And even besides that, even if like you set them at the same level and they were both felt at the same level in terms of putting their builds together, Muscle have like they have 13. Obviously, Namek have like Piccolo, but with the changes they've done to his build, like he isn't on Eternal Life anymore, which is what he was a staple on all the time. So there's a little bit of work to do there before I like think that Namek could sort of get over and beat Muscle. But you never know, nothing's ever impossible. So, but yeah, I'm going to vote for Muscle as well. So that is, we've ended the draw streak. It's 4-0 to Muscle.
Yep.
But yeah,
shall we move on?
Yes. Match 5, Rugrats versus ED. You can, if you want to, Tosh, spill some gossip. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like they're going to see this, so
Exactly.
we're benching Aurelie, and we're doing so, and of course, Oob is coming back in for us, and then we're doing fusions once again. So, same build. So, still Super 2, Key 2 for both Goten and Trunks separately, and then it'll be Super 1, Key 1. You know, when they're starting off, plus their Pataras, or their Rage Pataras. And we're on our map, and it's Kami's Lookout. But that doesn't particularly matter too much because no one has like a plan to grab. So.
Yeah. I think
Krillin's coming back for ED, by the way.
I don't know.
Yeah,
who was it that was coming in for Rugrats?
Oop. Base Oop.
I think I'll give it. I think I'll give it to Rugrats. I think it's pretty even.
What is it? Oh, and Cell Jr. is the one starting for us because everyone else basically needs to be in the back. Fusions and then Savior for Oop. So.
Yeah, honestly, this is hard because like Krillin
really
has
good.
proved himself to not be a bad character.
Krillin is really good.
I'm just wondering who on ED would out for Krillin, unless they double bench Krillin.
Yeah, possibly. But hold on, let me
Tien?
see. Do they have this?
Maybe? Although you could say Tien's their weak link, so they might not want to bench Tien.
They cannot double bench. They only have one Zinni.
Okay, so Krillin has to come in.
I think probably Herc or.
I would say either. Actually, I would actually maybe say.
I don't think they'll bench him to Goku after that performance.
Out of that, if they do, then that's more so like maybe they think that they can win without
what?
him.
Also, what Kai is ED in?
ED is in
East.
East.
Or are they North?
No, they're
East.
wait, no, they're North. They're North. Sorry.
Okay, so their divisional
Their
is
divisional next week.
So they could it's either going to be like Hercule or Mid Vegeta. I'm honestly considering that it's probably going to be Hercule because Hercule still is a bit lackluster from the looks of it, and he still needs a bit of tweaking. But I would say, I would say I think it will be a tough fight, especially if Mid Goku decides to do exactly what he did this week, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it to Rugrats because it is hard to ignore the potential Gotenks. Goten and Trunks by themselves are also really good characters, and Base Oob's not a bad FA. So
I will say, like in terms of the bench for ED, I actually would probably say it's either Mid Vegeta or Mid Goku instead of Hercule. Because if Hercule is not really doing too well and everything, then they may bench him or Tien against RW in their divisional in week 3.
Yeah, I can see that. It's really hard, this one. I'm kind of like directly on the fence, but just to add a little bit of balance, because otherwise it's going to be 3-0 Rugrats. Or 4-0 Rugrats, rather. It is 3-0 now. I'm going to vote for ED. And I say that because, assuming they keep Mid Goku in, I can't see Mid Vegeta being, like, as... I don't think he did horrendously this... Well, he did, actually. Yeah, he did. But I don't see Mid Vegeta repeating that performance because he was going against 17, and there's not many other characters that can.
He also had to finish 16 beforehand.
That too, yeah. So he went in at 16 and 17, and there's not many characters that can do what those two do on any team. So I think Mid Vegeta's performance will be massively improved if he is in. Krillin is like one of the biggest surprises over the past. Yeah, he's so consistent. Consistent. So I'm gonna give it just about to ED, but it's gonna be very close.
Yeah, I think
the betrayal.
I think a lot of us.
You voted Royals.
Wow. I didn't know you were.
That's not a betrayal. That's called knowing on whose side to be.
Okay, well,
but
I was on the fence.
Close. Yeah, sure. So was I. It was close. Well, honestly, it was wafer thin, like the decision. But
yeah.
Krillin is good, and you can't deny me that. So yeah, that's 3-1 to Rugrats, and on to match number 6, RW versus Cinema. Obviously, I know you said pre-cast Destiny that you had some plans.
Those are for week 3. Don't worry.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah, it was week 3, wasn't it?
Yeah. But we're benching Fasha this week. We're the lineup of Garlic, Gogeta, Janemba, Vegito.
Yeah.
And the reason why Garlic's up first with Gogeta right behind him is normally when they have been doing well, they've been normally at near the start of the lineup, because both times in the preseason Gogeta did super well when he was in. He was either directly starting or he was second in the lineup, and Garlic has, and I think Garlic had a little bit of trouble versus Super 17 because Super 17 is an Android, of course, but he normally also has been doing really well as starting. We think since RW has RW's North Korea, so their divisional is next week.
Yeah, divisional's next week. Yeah.
We think that either Maju or 18 will be out, which is a big boon for us. Though the character coming in basically can replace one of them. It's Super Saiyan 1 and Vegeta, and if Maju's out, we kind of assume Vegeta will start. But if 18's out, we assume Maju will start, which is our thought process behind it.
Okay. I'm gonna start this off mainly
I'll be voting for my own team, by the way.
Yeah. I think I'm going to vote for RW just because you reminded me that they have the 3 of 18, Marjube and Vegeta, and that even if as well, by the way, because they could, I guess, in theory, bench. They could stack their benches to start the season. They could have all 3 in. I don't think they would. They could. Oh no! As in they could bench. Who did they bench this week?
And Vegeta.
So they could. Oh yeah, so they could bench Yajirobe or Roshi. They really wanted to. I don't know whether they would, but and they could stack some of their weaker benches at the start of the season. But even besides that, having 2 of Vegeta 18 and Vegeta and Marju, or having any of those,
or all 3,
is really scary. And the fact that we were commenting on Roshi doing well earlier, I'm gonna just about give it to RW, just because those guys are really scary. I don't think that you can't. It's insurmountable because obviously Gogeta is a ridiculous force. Vegito, as we saw, almost brought things back for you. So it's not insurmountable, but those 2 of those 3. It's hard to go against.
I would agree. It's Resurrected Warriors just had an extremely good week, in my opinion. Sorry, extremely good showing, rather. So I'll have to give the vote to RW, I think.
I'm going to have to split this right now because I'm going Cinema. Got to support my fellow Fusion person over here,
No one that's fair.
That's more Fusion than you now.
So,
double fusion.
Yeah, he got double fusion.
He has more fusion than you now, Tosh. So.
Listen, if he didn't get Vegito, I was going to find some way, shape, or form to get Vegito as an FA.
I'm pretty sure if I didn't get Vegito as even part of a joke, I would have probably been slapped by somebody.
So yeah,
metaphorically.
But yeah, Cinema, I can see them taking it even with just the 2 fusions, even without Basha. I can see Janemba maybe picking up the slack. I don't remember too much what's going on with
Janemba is the one that's been kind of struggling right now, but it's also why he's in between Gogeta and Vegito.
So yeah, I can see Cinema pulling out a win, especially if the divisionals the following week for RW.
So we broke the curse for a few matches, but we're back to the 2-2.
Yeah.
Fair enough. On to match 7. We have Budokai versus Kaiju.
Kaiju had
Both coming in off losses as well, if I'm not mistaken. So one of these teams is not going to be on where they're going to have.
One of these teams will not be O2. So this is funny actually, because Kaiju has Slug coming in, right?
Yeah.
Budokai has a big old long hair man himself, Raditz. Versus his home team.
What? Do you know what? For the culture, I'm disregarding everything else. For the culture, and I don't very often do this. I'm gonna give it to Budokai because I believe in Raditz. Raditz is gonna show up Kaiju. Okay.
Pick up Raditz and then say that.
I'm gonna have to give it to Kaiju because I feel like Budokai is one of those teams, at least historically, if I remember correctly, that have had like a lot of rush B2s, and giant transformations are very effective against those.
But here's the thing, Fathappy, that you're not thinking about. Base on GT Goku, Dragon Fist, his B2 that goes right through it, and you have Super Saiyan 3 and Goku that cuts through it, and his ult is Dragon Fist that also goes through.
That is true.
So they literally have 2 count. I still give it to Kaiju because unless for whatever reason Budokai decides to go with a day map for City Ruins, Kaiju has its full potential out there with, the moon, since they're probably going to be choosing a night map. At least I think Budokai's been doing that lately. So
I feel like Budokai might just deliberately not choose a night map in that instance, but you never know. Strange things happen.
I will say, I'm actually going to go for Kaiju on this one for 2 reasons. One, Slug. When Slug gets going, especially if he goes giant, even against DA users I've seen, when he gets going, he does put in a lot of damage. And as we saw with Cold, Kaiju almost brought it back.
They did.
Even with all what happened, because remember it was half a bar difference.
They also have, for my money, one of the best value FAs that you can have in General Tao.
Pick him up and then you can say that.
What do you mean pick him up? I have.
General
Tao. The best value FA there is.
I'm talking about Raditz. That's what I was talking about. Pick up Raditz.
But also, I think
I did as an FA
Budokai,
as well.
I think with Budokai, in theory, this is their best lineup they used week 1. Right? Like even with like in theory, with early Goku doing as bad as he did, like this is their in theory best lineup.
Yeah.
So Raditz could do better than early Goku, and it could pull out a different outcome. But I think with how I don't know how Raditz has been for Budokai, but with how Raditz can normally be. Especially how he can struggle versus other apes until he goes ape himself, which isn't all the time guaranteed, because just like how with the whole Bojack thing, he has a full power that is the same cost as ape. So I'm going to give it to Kaiju.
Oh, and I also forgot. Early Goku can also, his Spirit Bomb probably still triggers a cutscene against apes. Budokai is the perfect team to go against him. So
that is 3-1 to Kaiju.
Yep.
On to the last match of Androids versus Derp.
Derp, whatever. Let's skip this one.
No, actually, I'm going to say Androids because everyone's going to go, oh, Frost this, Frost that, and Frost is a menace. Semi-perfect Cell.
Oh, no.
Okay?
No, I only say that
annoying.
because despite Anthony. That's the only reason why I said that.
Oh, okay.
But I will probably say Androids because
it's Android time, baby.
How much money do they have?
And so androids have 8 Zinni, and who's the other team? And Derp has 4.
I will say, at least from what I've heard from androids, and from what I definitely see from their benching Cell week 1, they're probably benching their stronger characters first to have them in for the rest of the season because they just don't care. So either they're double benching Cell or they're benching 17, which is still a strong character for either of them.
Let's be honest. You can do that, right?
Yeah.
But they've still got 16. And they've still got 16 and 17, or 16 and Cell, or 17 and Cell and no 16.
I wasn't finished.
I know, but what I was saying is regardless if you take one of those out, it's still like strong. That was just an observation. Carry on. Sorry.
So you also have to think about Derp is not really one of those teams anymore that relies on people charging up to do their B2s, right? Because Frost, he has a key +2 blue, but he mostly will stay in your face and like melee you until he has enough to do his B2. And then Salza and Yamcha can also normally stay in your face. So the only one that really is like wants to sit back and B2, it feels like, is Android 21. And I feel like 21 could always be the weekly bench for this week.
Yeah.
Not because she's a super weak character. It's just you have to put somebody out. And
I mean, she also doesn't benefit. Yeah, she also doesn't benefit from her grab.
Yeah, like
against the majority of androids. So.
If Cell's double bench, literally only one character on androids can be grabbed and sucked out a key. So she's just the most fitting.
Yeah, that's true. So
all right,
I voted for androids.
Androids.
Destiny.
Derp.
So
okay.
That is
3-1.
Okay.
We don't have a single 4-0.
I believe that was all the matches.
And we did have a 4. It was Muscle Dynamic. That is all the matches.
Oh, we did.
And so, thanks for listening to our predictions, guys. And thank you for watching. If you want to check out the links below to the Discord, website, Twitter, and TikTok. And while you're down there in the YouTube comments, you can leave us a little review or just tell us anything you want us to improve for next time. Any sort of suggestions will help. And I've been your host xmat. I've been joined by
the co-host Fathappy
and 2 very special guests in Toshiro.
See you, everyone.
And Destiny.
See you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.